All right, humanoid robots are getting uncomfortably real. And this time, it's not a Silicon Valley demo, not a flashy startup teaser, and not a CGI-heavy promo video. It's coming out of Shanghai. A Chinese robotics company called DroidUp has just revealed a humanoid robot named Moya, and they're calling it the world's first fully biomimetic, embodied intelligent robot. That phrase sounds like marketing until you actually see the footage. Because Moya isn't built to look like a machine that learned how to walk. It's built to exist in a way that feels human, physically, socially, and psychologically, in subtle ways that most robots don't even attempt. This is one of those moments where the humanoid conversation quietly shifts. Not because Moya can do backflips, not because it lifts heavy boxes, but because it occupies that uncomfortable middle ground people have argued about for years, the space where robots stop feeling like tools and start feeling like artificial people. One of the most striking things about Moya is what it doesn't try to be. It's not industrial, it's not cartoonish, it's not stylized, exaggerated, or intentionally cute, and it's not a sci-fi android either. DroidUp's design direction is realism without spectacle. In videos that first went viral on Chinese social media and were later covered by outlets like the South China Morning Post, Moya is shown standing calmly, making steady eye contact, nodding slightly during conversation, and walking with a gait that genuinely makes you do a double take. This isn't the stiff, mechanical shuffle people are used to seeing. It's smooth, measured, balanced. The kind of movement where your brain briefly stops analyzing mechanics and starts reacting socially, the same way it would when another person enters the room. That reaction is not accidental. DroidUp says Moya can reproduce human micro-expressions, and that's a much bigger deal than it sounds. Most humanoid robots that have faces focus on obvious actions, lip movement, blinking, or exaggerated smiles. Moya goes after the hard part, tiny movements around the eyes, subtle cheek tension, minute shifts in the corners of the mouth. These are the signals humans read subconsciously to determine whether someone is attentive, friendly, confused, or disengaged. According to DroidUp, Moya's facial system is designed to synchronize these micro-expressions with head movement, gaze direction, and posture, which is what creates the illusion of genuine presence rather than scripted animation. This is exactly the area where most humanoids fall apart. They talk, but they don't react. Moya is clearly designed to close that gap. Physically, Moya is built almost like an average adult human. The numbers matter here. Moya stands 1.65 meters, roughly 5 feet 5 inches, and weighs about 32 kilograms, or 70 pounds. That weight is surprisingly low for a full humanoid robot, which strongly suggests lightweight internal structures, carefully selected materials, and an emphasis on balance and efficiency over brute force. But visually, the proportions are deliberate. Torso length, limb ratios, posture. Everything avoids the toy robot or industrial machine look that still plagues many humanoids today. The goal isn't to impress engineers, it's to make everyday humans feel at ease. Here's a detail that sounds minor until you think about it. DroidUp says Moya maintains a surface temperature between 32 and 36 degrees Celsius, about 89.6 to 96.8 degrees Fahrenheit. That's human skin temperature, which means if you're near Moya or eventually interacting with it physically, it doesn't feel like cold metal or plastic. It feels warm. Psychologically, that matters more than almost any visual feature. Cold objects signal machine, warm objects signal living. This single design choice could dramatically change how people perceive long-term interaction with humanoid robots in healthcare, hospitality, education, and customer-facing environments. DroidUp claims Moya's walking posture reaches 92% accuracy compared to human gait. That number isn't about speed or stability, it's about flow. Many humanoids can walk from point A to point B. Very few can do it in a way where the movement feels continuous rather than segmented. Moya's gait shows natural weight transfer, subtle hip rotation, balanced arm swing, and controlled foot placement. This is the difference between watching a machine perform a task and watching something move through space, and your brain knows the difference instantly. Online reactions in China were deeply split. Some people were fascinated, calling Moya the future of companions, assistants, and service robots. Others said it made them uncomfortable. That reaction is classic Uncanny Valley, the point where realism triggers emotional response instead of neutral curiosity. And importantly, DroidUp doesn't seem to be avoiding that edge. They're leaning into it. Because crossing that boundary is the only way humanoids become socially useful rather than novelty machines. Technically, DroidUp has been careful about what they revealed. There has been no full hardware stack breakdown, no detailed spec sheet on processors, sensors, or actuators. That silence has fueled speculation. A robotics publication called Robo Horizon reported that Moya may be built on something referred to as a Walker 3 chassis. That raised eyebrows because the Walker name is strongly associated with UB Tech, one of China's most established humanoid robotics companies. So far, DroidUp has not confirmed any partnership. UB Tech has not acknowledged any shared platform. There is no public licensing disclosure. It could be naming coincidence, it could be shared supply chains, or it could be an internal platform that hasn't been publicly detailed yet. What is clear is that Moya appears to use a modular architecture. Moya's modular design means the outer appearance, including the face and surface materials, can be customized without redesigning the internal mechanical platform. That matters a lot. Different environments require different levels of realism. A hospital may want calm, neutral features. A school may want something softer and more approachable. A luxury hotel may want near-human realism. DroidUp isn't aiming for warehouses or factory floors. They're targeting long-term human interaction environments. Healthcare, education, high-end hospitality, public service roles. Anywhere presence matters more than strength. According to figures mentioned in South China Morning Post's video coverage, Moya is expected to enter the market by late 2026. The estimated starting price is around 1.2 million Japanese yen, though final pricing hasn't been officially confirmed. That price alone tells you everything about the positioning. This is not a consumer gadget. This is not a toy. And it's not meant for mass home adoption, at least not yet. Moya is a premium institution-level humanoid system. What makes Moya important isn't any single feature, it's the combination. Human-scale proportions, warm surface temperature, micro-expressions, natural gait, socially aware movement, and a design philosophy centered on presence, not performance. This isn't about robots replacing jobs tomorrow. It's about crossing a psychological threshold, the moment when robots stop being perceived as devices and start being perceived as entities. That line has been theoretical for years. Moya may be one of the first real attempts to step over it. That's it. If you like this breakdown, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Catch you in the next one.